I'm going to try to keep this one short. It's freaking cold in here. There's frost on the door. Over on the moderator module, somebody had said, "Hey Tiger, how did you get into paintball, and what do you find, what do you like about it?" And I could spend a lot of time talking about the latter. So this time I'm going to talk a little bit about the former, how I fell into paintball. Well, in a manner of speaking, anyway. In order to understand this, though, we got to set the Wayback Machine to 1989. Actually, on second thought, set it back to 1985 because that's when I started playing Photon. I used to be a laser tag junkie. There was this laser tag place called Photon that was close to where I lived. And it was fun. It was, it was a big arena. You'd run around the arena. You had the phaser, you had the helmet, the chest piece, and you'd shoot people. And it was better than any video game because, unlike video games at the time, it wasn't predictable. And before people started arguing with me, let's talk about mid-'80s video games. Yeah, they really didn't have many first-person shooters, and the few that they had were incredibly primitive by today's standards. And if you wanted to play a gun game with any sort of, coherence to it, and you wanted to do it on a video game system, you were stuck with Duck Hunt. So when I graduated high school back in 1989, the local Photon actually closed, and I was kind of upset about that, because, I wasn't looking forward to having a summer of fun before jumping off into college. And so, okay, I'm looking for something to do over the summer that isn't destructive and doesn't involve possibly getting arrested. A friend of mine actually suggested paintball, and I was really kind of hesitant at the time, but eventually I found a local paintball store near where I lived, and it was called Master of the Game, and actually they're still around today. They're just under a new name you might have heard of called Air America. I spent a little bit of time talking to Dan. He said, "Hey, just come on out. You'll have a good time. The field's out in Gurnee. It'll be a great time." So eventually I did do that, and I went all out too. I got myself a set of Tiger Stripe BDUs. Not the Vietnam Tiger Stripe. I'm talking like the Americanized version. And I had my tabi boots on, I had the booty hat on. I didn't know. And I remember I was issued a PGP. I want to emphasize the word issued because it wasn't just rented. You were issued your equipment. You had to pay for the right, but you were issued a PGP. And everybody else around me has Piranhas and Bushmasters, and before you start thinking like, semi-autos, I'm talking about the original pump guns. At the time, there was a lot of rules that were different than today. For starters, headshots didn't count. And I remember this because I shot 300 rounds out of a PGP in one day, and I only shot one guy. But it didn't count because I hit him in the face. There was also, by insurance policy, you had to be 18 years or older in order to play paintball, which changed the gaming dramatically because we had a lot of people there who were... Well, actually, come to think of it, there's a lot of people there who were either Vietnam veterans, in the military, wanted to be in the military, or got thrown out of the military. One of the four. Thankfully, though, it wasn't like training. It was just, go out there and go shoot each other, have a good time. And, at the time, I really didn't know what I was doing, since anybody really, the first bunch of times you go out there. And the game was radically different then, too, because you had 45-minute long games, and the pace was a lot slower. Now, when I went back many years later, they cut apart one of the big fields that we used to play for 45 minutes. They cut that apart into like 5 or 6 different fields, and we played that for 5. Thing is, though, I had a lot of fun playing, and I stuck with it. And then when I went to college in Minnesota, I found like one outlaw field in Rochester, and I found one other field way the heck out in Mankato, and that was a 3-hour drive from where I was going to college. But it's one of those things that, just stuck with me, and I had a lot of fun with it. Okay, I gotta call it. I am freezing.